Hey, hey, hey. George Wilson! Remember, dear, no question. What are you doing? What are you doing? No, what are you doing? What are you doing? No, what are you doing? Bring out the gimp.
Get thee hence, Satan.
You're not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
Check out the big brain on bread.
The captain of the ship is giving orders.
You think a couple of whacks from my good old dog gut's gonna get me down?
And I don't like nobody touching my stuff. If I catch any of you guys in my stuff, I'll kill you.
But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. It seems as though today's world is even more blinded than biblical times. And if this assumption is true, it is because of the television, which was originally invented to be used as a weapon. The television is an interesting gadget and was actually invented by a 17-year-old kid named Farmar. There are varying stories which have been hidden, which detail Farmar's invention and how it passed on to the hands of David Sarnoff. David Sarnoff is the original owner of CBS and is a general in the naval military psychological warfare operations. He is best known by his colleagues and acquaintances for combing his eyebrows upward to appear as though they are horns. The television, or ability to project visions into someone's head, was necessary at the time to produce the results desired by Operation Paperclip, which later was transformed into Operation MK Ultra. Operations Paperclip and MK Ultra are parts of the exact same secret project, which is mind control. But the young Farmar didn't give up his invention without a fight, and he took David Sarnoff to court. David Sarnoff had stolen the technology, and the young man took him to court and won $17 million. However, during the process, he sold the rights to the television to David Sarnoff, who again owned the television channel with the eyeball in the middle, which is still used to this day. Many of us who are aware of the legitimacy of Operation Paperclip have looked into the details, and one way to do that is to review Annie Jacobson's book about Operation Paperclip, which details all accounts of the secret project, which was originally conducted as Operation Alsos and was part of the OSS, or the Office of Special or Secret Services, which in turn became the CIA. Operation Alsos was going through to determine which people would be taken before the Nuremberg trials, and it was used to identify the best people to be involved in Operation Paperclip. The premise of both projects was to import into the United States Nazi occult doctors, scientists, and a few other homicidal maniacs directly from the Nuremberg trials into NASA and the CIA, which are the same. NASA stands for Not a Space Agency, and the CIA is the Central Incineration Agency, as they'd just as soon burn our lives down than to have to deal with us. And as a matter of fact, they continue to conduct randomized experiments on citizens of the world, including the United States, whom it is said to be protecting. And it has an unlimited black book budget and trillions of dollars. Many people in NASA and the CIA are also involved in occultism and mystery worship. It is a known fact that the CIA recruits directly from the Mormon Church and from Freemasonry, as all 226 people who are said to have been in space are entirely Freemasons, all of them. And I believe many of us know by now that the 32 oaths taken by a 32nd degree Freemason are more important to that individual Freemason than any other oath, or their country, or God, or their family. It is important to know that Freemasons are well versed in the arts of deception and will lie and deny anything that has to do with the truth. A 32nd degree Freemason has literally taken 32 oaths, 32, to not say anything to anybody about anything they do, and swears that they will lie. And this is what you get when you are inculcated with the doctrine of Lucifer. Albert Pike's book, Morals and Dogma, admits to this. And so does Manly P. Hall, and so does Madame Blavatsky, even though she taught Theosophy. The central beliefs of the ancient Babylonian worship conducted by Freemasonry is actually just a form of Kabbalism that is taken from the Zohar, which was written in 72 AD. Freemasonry has been around for thousands of years, and it is called the craft because it is witchcraft, and the Zohar is a consolidation of all witchcraft and greater magic and dark magic up to that point in history, and it has been expounded upon since then, especially with the use of the aforementioned television and pharmakia. And it's important also to know that Freemasons are not only men, but women are involved too, and the Order of the Eastern Star is a co-ed Freemasonry group. Freemasonry was originally a very racist group, and only white men were allowed, but now all different races, religions, and creeds and ethnicities of people are allowed into the craft, or the great work, or mystery Babylon, or mystery worship, or Kabbalism, or whatever they choose to call it, because remember, they will lie and they will deny. Many Freemasonry customs and traditions are just taken from the Templars, which in turn were taken from the original group, the Assassins, which were run by a man named Hassan. You may have heard of Hassan, as he was the person who coined the phrase, "You get 7 virgins on the way to paradise for defending your country or for killing an infidel." It's quite literally made up. The Templars were the group which brought sun worship from the Middle East into Europe, as it was adopted by the Freemasons, as they believed that light was knowledge and they bask in the false light of Lucifer. And this is why you see sun symbols on everything, and the Hegelian dialectic is used so frequently. The black and white symbology used by Freemasonry shows you the Hegelian dialectic in the obvious dark, bad, and the false light, or white, which is said to be good, but is really just another bad thing which looks good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
A couple of things I came across this past week is that I am now able to verify that Dolly Parton is same-gender oriented, as she's been posing as a heterosexual for over 53 years now. And I can tell you that I've worked for her personally, and I do believe this. Another thing that I was able to verify through sources this week is that there are in fact nuclear reactors in Antarctica, and they have been there for a very, very long time. The nuclear reactor in Antarctica is at McMurdo Station 26042. This was part of another operation called Operation High Jump, and this is really what Admiral Byrd's trip to Antarctica was all about, as Admiral Byrd was a 33rd degree Freemason and was very close with John D. Rockefeller. So no, his story does not check out too well. The flying saucers that he said he encountered down there were just the Germans who had been down there working on those for a while. And as many of you know, Hitler died in Argentina in 1962 of natural causes. If you look really hard, you can find a picture of him with Evita and Juan Perón, who were open communists, on the front page of an Argentinian 1951 newspaper article. Most of these images have now been removed from the internet, but can still be found in other places. Hitler was a communist and socialist, and he was well on his way to completing all of his goals until he printed his own money. It didn't help that he broke his Neutrality Act with Stalin, but I think people forget that Russia also invaded Poland. That is not Stalin's real name, that's not Lenin's real name, and that's not Leon Trotsky's real name. They are all 33rd degree Freemasons. Stalin never had a job, but he always had money. He was a train robber and was referred to as the Jesse James of the Urals. And communism is the exact same as NWO, and NWO is Satanism. At least Luciferianism tries to act like it's good.
Royale with cheese. Royale with cheese.